Oh, so when a UK reporter came over here to report on how life in America is so different from like UK and other places where they don't have mass shootings regularly, where kids aren't afraid to go to school because they have better gun laws, her response was this lame thing about mass stabbings. And oh, really? You want some? Get back here. You don't get to wander away like that. Oh, frick. Well, that'll be the end for me. I can go eat. But anyway, she had this lame response about mass stabbings and how this reporter needed to go back to her country and learn her place. But here's the problem. Mass stabbings are never as deadly as mass shootings. And furthermore, they're stoppable manually. You have someone with an AK-47 in an enclosed classroom, your chances to stop them are very minimal. That gun is meant to tear people apart in one shot and kill people and kill crowds of people. Even swords aren't meant to do that. If you have a mass amount of people, if you have like a group of 4 or more, you have someone attacking them with a sword, there's a good chance that while someone will get hurt and maybe even killed by that sword, you can stop that guy using just your hands and some things you find on the ground. Because each sword, the best sword in the world, is not 1/10, not 1/100th as deadly as an AK-47 assault rifle or an AR-15s or anything like that. So MTG needs to go back to her place and learn her place, because what she's saying is nonsense. What she's saying is just promoting the gun industry, the gun fetishism that allows them to make money off our dead children. She pretty much indicates she doesn't care that her gun industry is piling up corpses of dead children, and that her only excuse are really weak ones like that. And that indicates she doesn't care about excuses. That indicates that she doesn't plan to fight anything because she thinks the gun industry should not be fought. It should just be heralded as the king. And it shouldn't. So in closing of all the chats we've had today, as LGBTQ, we have to be prepared. They're coming for us, and if November turns out bad, we're under target. As concerned parents, we have to be prepared. The gun industry is not stopped. The bipartisan gun bill is some limp biscuit that would not have stopped the Uvalde massacre, would not have stopped Columbine, and I don't think would have stopped Sandy Hook, because Sandy Hook, the gun owner, was not a criminal or mentally insane, and this doesn't stop people who live with mentally insane people from owning weapons, which is what happened in Sandy Hook. That person was known as mentally challenged, the shooter was, but his mom, who owned the weapons, was not. So he got his mom's weapons and shot up a bunch of kindergartners. So that bipartisan bill is something, but it's like it's like a cup of water to stop a raging house fire. That's what it is. It's not going to stop mass shootings, and it wouldn't stop pretty much any of the mass shootings. The best it would have done is maybe, just maybe, it would have done something for the nightclub shooting over Orlando. However, the Republicans have fought having anybody restricted from owning guns that are known violent or terrorist people. And since they're fighting that, it probably would not have stopped the Orlando shooting either. This bill, bipartisan bill, is pretty much nothing. It's just a piece of paper that says we're doing something when they're really not doing anything. And I know the Sandy Hook people are like, yay, something's being done. But guys, don't kid yourself. Nothing's being done. This isn't something that's going to stop the massacres. This isn't something that's going to stop it. We want to stop it, we have to take the fights to the gun industry. In fact, we need to take the fights to all the industries. If we destroy the conservative industries, the conservatives lose all their money, they lose all their power, and they lose all their power over us. They lose their political gains, and then we can actually just starve them to death. So we need to go up to the oil industry, and we need to protest them. We need to get in their way. We need to make a mess of making oil. the oil industry needs to learn that their price gouging is not something we're going to accept. Then the oil industry will start losing money, and then it won't be able to pay out to conservatives who keep giving them tax breaks, and then so the conservatives will lose their money. And in the end, the oil industry will either have to give us what we want or die off. I'm kind of hoping die off. I'm hoping they crash, I'm hoping they burn, and I hope they don't exist. And the same thing, we need to take the fight to the gun industry. We need to get in their way of production. We need to protest around their corporate offices. We need to fight them until they stop producing weapons of mass death. And we need to make it to where their support of Republicans and vice versa is not monetarily feasible for them. That the only way they're going to make any money is by bowing to what the people want, not what a bunch of 1%ers up in the Conservative Party want. And once they stop supporting the Conservative Party and the oils no longer can support the Conservative Party, and the Conservative Party can no longer give back to them, then the Conservative Party dies. Because this is all it's made out of is corruption and juggling money. That's all the Conservative Party is. Right now it's corruption, juggling of money, and then the hate breed. But there's not enough of the hate breed to sustain them. As much as Trump is making his quote-unquote fortune, what little there is, off MAGA hats, they should be very aware that they are not a majority party. They are a very loud minority, and a vast minority. So if we can get in there, and we can vote them out, and we can starve them out, and we can destroy their industries, we can do this peacefully, and we can take America back. But it means getting feet to the ground, it means getting in the way, placing yourself in the way of the people, placing yourself in the way of politicians. When you stand up to Ted Cruz in the middle of his family eating, you show him it is not a comfortable place to go out and eat with your family. Keep doing that. You see those evil politicians, you get in their way. You yell at them. You shout at them. Don't attack them. Don't physically assault them. But get in their way and make sure they are uncomfortable. Make sure they know that they are surrounded by people who dislike what they are doing. Make sure they know. Make sure they feel like they're being attacked without actually being attacked. Verbal assault is nothing I have against. Don't bring it into hate. Don't bring slurs into it. But go out there and be like, you're the reason those kids in Uvalde are dead. Or you're the reason price gouging is so high. You're a corrupt little Nazi. You're a racist. Call him a racist. Call him a Nazi. Call him the things they are. Go after Ted Cruz. Go after Greg Abbott. Go after Ken Paxton, who's technically you can call a federal criminal because he is. Go after Dan Patrick. Go after MTG. Go after Matt Gaetz. Go after all of them. Matt Gaetz you can call a pedophile because he's into child trafficking. And I'm pretty sure there's more than that. I wouldn't be surprised if he was good buddies with a certain guy who hung himself in jail. But stand up for yourself and stand up for the rest of us. Get out there, march, and get in the way. If we can if we can do what our parents and grandparents did in the 70s, we can bring America back to the brink, from the brink. Because right now, again, it is fascism versus anti-fascism. Good, evil. And the evil has a lot of money. We're basically the rebellion versus the empire right now. The empire is well funded. It's well weaponed. It's well fueled. It has all the war weapons. And the rebellion just has people that want peace. And we need to act loud, proud, and in bigger numbers than the empire. Because we have the bigger numbers. We need to show them that the majority itself has power that the minority cannot buy. And once that happens, we can become America again. Once the GOP, once the conservatives are out of office, whether they are on the run or whether it's because we voted them out, we as America can try to start the heal and move progression forward again. But if the empire, if the conservatives gain all the control, we will not get a break. We will only see genocide. We will only see hate. We will only see suffering. And we will only see total fascist control. So it is up to you, people 18 and above, to get out there, to get your family out there, to tell them how important it is to vote, to get them out there to vote, because half the country states, especially the conservative states, you can't vote by mail or anything anymore, and they're going to be restricting votings. Everybody has to show up for vote. Everybody has to show up for vote 100%. And if we can do that, we can win. We can win in Texas. How we can win in Florida. We can win everywhere. Because if the majority shows up to vote, the conservatives are the minority, and they will lose. And if they lose wholly, if they lose in full, and they cannot stop that loss, we can erase all the damage they've already done. All the stupid laws they put into place to try and fix elections here in Texas and Florida. All the anti-gay, anti-lesbian, anti-trans laws. We can stop punishing immigrants for being immigrants. We can heal the nation. But that only comes if we get rid of the evil part of our core. The evil part of our core that was the Confederation. The evil part of our core that are the neo-Nazis. The evil part of our core that are the KKK. The evil part of the core that are the Proud Boys, the conservatives. It has always been the conservatives. If we can get rid of the conservatives, if we can vote them the frick out, we can be America again. I don't want to make America great again. I just want to be America, and I want to work towards progress we should already be working towards instead of this regress they are trying. And the one last thing we need to get in front of is evangelists. The evangelists are the most evil of the religions in America right now. They are the ones pushing the anti-transgenderism. They are the ones pushing the homomesia. They're the ones pushing against us. It's the evangelists. The Catholics play their part, sure. Everybody else is kind of quiet, but the evangelists are the corrupt, money-bringing, conservative powerhouse of evil when it comes to Christian-fascists. And we need to get in there. We need to protest their churches. We need to make their congregation and their giant $5 billion mansion churches full of lights and TVs feel uncomfortable going there. We need to make them know that religion does not have a place ruling our country. They have every right to be some super wealthy, stupid religion if they want to, but they have no right being in our government, and they have no right telling other people how to live. They have no right restricting gay people, lesbian people, transgender people. They have no right restricting us. They have no right ruling with their religion. No right. We need to make sure they know they don't have that right. So get out there and protest against the evangelists too. Because they're just as evil as the oil companies and the gun companies. And they're just as corrupt, and they're just as interred in the conservative Nazi party.